are you today? Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to be back in this podcasting studio. I love my at-home podcasting studio, but I've been running into some technical problems, but I got them solved today, I believe. So I will be back home. But in the interim, I miss being here with you, being live and asking those questions and having that dialogue with Deirdra. So welcome to Dialogue with Deirdra. I am Deirdra Elkison, your certified master life coach. I'm excited about today's podcast because it's going to lead up to what I believe to be a very configured coaching series. Let me explain what I mean by that. Because yes, there is a question for today, but I want to set it up well, and I want you to understand what I will be doing here today. Today, I am in the process of, or I have created a more cohesive, consistent, concise, clairvoyancy into a clear coaching climate. So in other words, I'm going to be putting things into perspective purposely. Yes, I do that, but not as often as I should and not as consciously as I should. So having had some personal coaching, yes, the coach always has to be coached. I cannot be the coach I need to be for you. If I can't be the coach I need to be for me. So yes, I seek out coaching as well. So if you're with me today, I welcome you to Dialogue with Deirdra. My phone lines, as always, are open. Not necessarily necessary for you to call in, but it's there for you if you want it. As always, I love for you to write your comments, say hello, ask a question, whatever you need to do. Just let me know you're there. And I'd like for you to love the video, like the video, share the video. I really want to make Dialogue with Deirdra work for what you need it to work for in your life. So once again, today I'm working on clear consistency. So having said that, let me explain or share with you. You know, I always start my shows by saying, welcome to Dialogue with Deirdra. I'm Deirdra Elkison, your certified master life coach. Exactly what does that mean? Being a certified master life coach. Well, what makes me certified is because I'm certified in many areas, and I'm going to share those areas with you. What makes me a master is because I've mastered many of these certifications, all of these certifications that I'm going to share with you. Also, I want to make it clear to you that I'm nowhere near finished with that journey. I will be reaching out. I will be studying and assessing other certifications in other disciplines as they relate to coaching. So let me share with you what I am certified in as of today. That's just for today. There's always tomorrow, and I'm already looking forward to tomorrow. No, it's not promised to me, but if I'm blessed to have it, I'm going to be ready for it. So one of the disciplines I have, and this is not in any order, my life coaching certifications are happiness life coach. That's one that I have. The second one that I have is as a professional life coach. The third one I have is as a group, Group, group life coach. I'm a goal success. Goal, GOAL, success coach. That's number 4. Number 5, I'm certified as a life purpose coach. Number 6, I'm certified as a transformation coach. And number 7, and that's where the journey is going to start today. Number 7, I am a certified relationship facilitator, life coach. So let me get those for you right now. 1, happiness life coach. 2, professional life coach. 3, group life coach. 4, goal success life coach. 5, life purpose life coach. 6, transformation life coach. 7, relationship facilitator life coach. And number 8, all of these certifications, number 8 makes me the master life coach that I am proud to be. Now, like I said, I won't stop there. There are more certifications that I want to get, but the ones that I do have qualify me as a certified master life coach. So having let you know all that so that you can understand my disciplines and where they are and where my resources come from. Today's question is more so an introduction to a 7-part / question coaching series. Let me say that again so you understand. Today's question is an introduction to a 7-part / question life coaching series. Okay, so what that means is once I give you the question for today, we're going to talk about that. And then the coaching podcasting. You guys know I get tongue-tied because I get so excited and I love this so much. So just take it for love. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. So once I've asked the question for today, I'll explain to you in more detail what I'm talking about. Perhaps at the end of the session, perhaps somewhere in the middle. I really have not decided yet. I feel it. I feel it the way that I'm in touch with when I do my afro. People ask me, how do you get your hair shaped like that? Well, I wet it, put my product in, work it in, I pick it all out, and then I close my eyes and I literally feel my hair place itself. And when I open my eyes, it's not exactly where I want it, but it's in a position so I can get it exactly where I want it. So I have a love for my hair and the feeling I get. My hair and we have this, I feel when I do my hair, I feel it happening. So I said all that to say this. I said all that to ask you this question. What's love got to do with me? Yeah, I got you. What's love got to do with me? Now that question for today is the introduction to a 7-part / 7-question life coaching series. In other words, after today's podcasting life coaching session, I will come back to you in order with the first question. That will be the first podcast following this introduction. And then the second podcast, and each podcast is an hour long. So I'm going to be giving you 7 hours, 7 different questions of life coaching series based around today's question. What's love got to be with me? And if you will, the certification or the discipline that this series would fall up under, because I will be doing these series for all my coaching certifications. This would fall under relationship facilitator. And I began to start there because I don't want to use the word issue, but I would like to start there because I recognize some things in some of my relationships with my children, with my romantic relationship, with my job, with my career, my relationship with being a life coach, my relationship with my hair. I mean, this is how this came about. So I started with relationships because I've been doing a lot of podcasting and life coaching dealing with us as individuals. And that's a wonderful thing, because we need to understand who we are, where we are, what we need to work on, what we need to get right, what we need to do better. We need to understand a lot of things about ourselves. We need to understand how to have self-talk. We need to learn how to understand our dark side. I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to see that podcast where I actually did it on Halloween in full costume, dressed as devilish diva doll, to let us all know we all have a dark side and we need to be aware of it so we can work on it, so we can bring more light to it. Just because we have a dark side does not mean we're a dark person. It just means that there are those areas that we need to shed more light on. And we can't shed more light on them unless we are aware of them. Because some of us walk around here believing that we're perfect. We have no dark side. There's nothing bad about us. Even the best people in the world have the best intentions. There are some things that they need to shed light on. I mean, that I believe that's true. I hope you do. So if you're out there watching me at all, just say hello, make a comment. But to go back to the question, the introduction for the 7-part / question life coaching series based on relationships. What's love got to do with me? Of course, I knew what you thought of when I said that title. So I'm going to indulge you because this also helped me with some things. I'm going to read to you the lyrics. I won't play the music because I don't have the copyrights or the rights to it. But I'm going to read you the lyrics to that song. And we know it's from the soundtrack, from the movie, What's Love Got to Do with it, that was based on the life of our very own Tina Turner. What you may or may not know is that Tina Turner did not like this song at all. She couldn't stand it. And the reason being is when I read you the lyrics, you'll understand it. And then I'm going to explain to you why I chose to use this. Well, it's self-explanatory as to why I chose to use the song, well, the lyrics, not the song, while going through the question, what's love got to do with me? So let's stick a pin in that and stay with me. So here we go. The lyrics. You must understand, though the touch of your hand makes my pulse react, that it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl. Opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. So if you go through these lyrics and you look at it, it's not a love song. It's physical, only logical. So I don't want to start to explain before I finish it. So I'm going to do a little bit of the chorus this time. I won't repeat the chorus because we all know it, but I'm more interested in the actual lyrics more so than the chorus. So the chorus says, oh, what's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. What's love but a secondhand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me if I tend to look dazed. I've read it someplace I've got cause to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. I've been taking a new direction, but I have to say, I've been thinking about my own protection. It scares me to feel that way. What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. What's love but a sweet old-fashioned notion? What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? That goes back to my question. What's love got to do with me? And if you really read the lyrics closely, that song sounds more like two people just being physical. They feel something for the moment, as fleeting as they both know what it is, and they act upon that. That's why the question is posed, what's love got to do with it? So I'm bringing you back. What's love got to do with me? What's love got to do with you? Let's first talk about what love is. Okay, so stay with me because like I said, this is an introduction to a 7-part, 7-question series. Okay, so what is love? We all have our notion, and you know what? Pull the song up, pull the lyrics up. Read the lyrics before you start to sing the song. Read the lyrics and go through them. Go through what they mean. Go through and try to understand them. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? We all have a heart. We all need a heart. And more often than not, our hearts have been broken and probably will be again. But we still need our heart. We need it. So what is love? What is love? Again, just say hello. Let me know you're there. I love knowing you're there. What's love but a sweet old-fashioned emotion? Love is a set of emotions, not one emotion. It is a set of emotions. It's a set of emotions and behaviors, and they are more often characterized by intimacy, passion, and commitment. So a lot of times we think of love, we think of it in a romantic sense. And the 7-part series that we will be doing will be dealing with as many parts of what love is as we can on an individual basis. So love involves care. It involves closeness. It involves protectiveness. Now, what jumps out to me when I talk about what love is, the first love that jumps out to me is self-love. As selfish as that may be, self-love should come first, because if you can't love yourself, who the hell else is going to love you? Or who else can you love? So that self-love jumps out to me first, because it involves care, it involves closeness, it involves protectiveness, it involves attraction, it involves affection, and it involves trust. If you don't have those things with yourself, yes, even attraction. If you're not attracted to yourself, no one else is going to be attracted to you. And when I say attracted to yourself, like when I'm doing my afro and I open my eyes, I love what I see. I love what I see with the no makeup on and nothing but just my natural hair, my hair doing what it does. I even loved it when it wasn't natural. I just loved what it came into, that care and that closeness. And I'm very protective of my hair. I'm not that one. No, you cannot touch my hair. You cannot. So, and that's just something that I use, I make light of it. But when we think about what love is, of course, we think about people and we think about our partner, our spouse. Most of the time, we think about them first when we think about love, when that's kind of backwards. We need to think about ourselves first. And there's nothing selfish about that. It's how you love yourself first. So When you realize that you first should give yourself that love, and how intense that could be, and that changes over time. I'm talking about when you have love with yourself, it changes. How many of us has not thought at one time or another that you don't like yourself, you're not happy with yourself, you're not proud of yourself? So it changes. It changes, and it's associated with a range of positive emotions. That's what love should be associated with, a lot of positive emotions. And what I believe the 7-part / question life coaching series, relationship life coaching series, what I believe that will do is for us to understand that everything about love should be positive. Is it? No. And that's because of us, in the way we see things, in the way we view things, in the way we believe other people should love us. Now, that's something I had to deal with this week, believing how an individual should love me. Because he wasn't loving me, I just told myself, trying to keep my business to myself. But because I felt that that person wasn't loving me the way I should be loved. But not even realizing that that person is loving me the way that person knows how to love me. So I had to do some backtracking. I had to put on brakes, and I had to rethink, and I had to go back into some things that I was believing. And sometimes you believe things, and it makes you see things that are not there. So that goes back to that self-love. Now I'm getting a call in. I don't know if she wants to be on air or if she knows, but give me a minute. Let's see what she wants. Hello, Megan. You're on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you realize that you're on the air?
I do now.
Okay. Well, today I'm just going through a question that's introducing a 7-part / question series, a life coaching series based on relationships. So today's question is, what's love got to do with me? So why do you find that funny? Let us know. I would love to know what you're laughing at.
Love has everything to do with me. I am love.
You are love. You didn't hear what I was saying, but that's what I was saying. I was saying because I went to explain.
Really?
Yes. You got me excited, girl. I was just explaining to my audience what love is, and I was saying that it's a set of emotions and behaviors characterized by intimacy, passion, commitment, care, closeness, and protectiveness. And I said, you know what? That starts with you. You must first love yourself first and give all that stuff to yourself, because you can't give it to anyone else if you don't first give it to yourself.
Yes. And then when you give it to yourself, you have a sense of entitlement, which I believe that's what we have to learn to walk through in life, with a sense of entitlement. We have to learn to walk in life with a sense of entitlement, because when you are God's child, He promises you life and life abundantly and all the things that you desire. As long as you have a pure heart, you shall attain through Him. So I agree.
I'm so glad you see. I have to let everyone know that this is my daughter. This is my middle child of 5.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is how my daughter thinks, and I will take credit for some of that, even though
I will give her credit for teaching me self-love.
Self-love.
If I did not know what someone loving themselves so hard looked like, I would not know where to start.
Well, because I really wanted, I got your shade, but I gotta ignore your shade right now because I'm Mama doing some business here. But I appreciate, as I always appreciate, you calling in and letting us know. And I also recited the words because I knew when I gave the title for the introduction for the series, "What's Love Got to Do with Me?" Everyone knew I was going to say, "What's love got to do with it?" But but what I did do was I went back into and I recited the lyrics to that, because I don't know, like I said before, Tina Turner did not like that song because of what it said. So it's not. So I wanted people to understand that this is not that, but I want them to also go through those lyrics and get it for themselves, and then go back. And that's why I decided to tell you what love is, what it really is. Okay,
Mhm.
and how it and I and it's associated with positive emotions, and that includes happiness, excitement, life
Mhm.
satisfaction, euphoria, and all these things. But it can also have negative emotions, and those are the things that are on our dark side. And when I talked about the dark side on Halloween, those negative things about love, that's in that dark side. And that's where I was telling everyone, that's what we need to shed light. We all have a dark side. We all get
Mhm.
depressed. We all get mad. We all get sad. That's the dark side of us. But here the key is to be aware of that, and the key is to always shed light on that dark side so it won't be dark and bleak. So
Mhm.
so I mean, we all go through that every day. We have mood changes, mood swings. So I'm not saying that you can get rid of the total darkness, because as long as we are here on this earth, we will not get rid of the total darkness.
No.
But Megan, I'm so glad you called in. Now, is there something that you wanted to say to me, or is there something you need to call me back later and talk to me
No,
about?
I just laughed at myself from our conversation earlier. Remember, I used to say, I hate Jessica.
Yes. Yes. That was a little childhood friend. Every time she got mad at her, she would come in the house, slam the door, and land the door, and fold her arms and go, I hate Jessica. I don't think she was no more than 5, maybe a little younger. So what about it, baby?
No, I had a repeat this morning. If you remember the phone conversation, I started it with I hate them.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we got through that. Do you still feel that way now?
I don't hate anybody. I'm a drama queen, and I have learned to accept my dark side of being impatient and very demanding. I understand it, and I understand that whoever has to deal with me has to deal with it. So,
Well,
um,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you feel like you can always call your mama. That makes me
yes.
feel really good. It makes me feel that even though you guys are adults with children,
And I'm still not grown up yet. I'll grow one day.
guess what? Mommy got a secret to tell you. She's not fully grown up either. See, I don't have my mommy, so I rely on a lot of coaching, and I learn a lot from my kids. Believe it or not, I learn a lot. Um, and I personally receive coaching that helps me a lot, and my coaching is helping to grow me up some. Like, you had an issue today with that person, I told you about an issue I had with a person, and because of that person, I'm sitting back in here doing what I should have been doing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He holds me accountable.
Who?
And you know who, I'm not going to say
Oh
his
Lord.
name. He holds
Okay.
me accountable, and he makes sure I do what I need to do. That's why I got a podcasting
Jesus.
studio. So I'm just,
Jesus.
Jesus is my everything, but this person was put in my life to hold me accountable, and be firm about it. So,
Okay.
and we had that conversation earlier, but I'm just saying, mommy's growing up still. As long as we're here on this earth, we're going to be growing. And if you're
Yes.
not growing, then you're stagnant and you die. And
Yes.
when I say die, that's a mental death, an emotional death, that's sadness, that's stress. That's a really, really dark place.
Yes.
So
It is there.
I'm going to get back to what is love. And I hope you tune in with me. And I really, like always, really appreciate you calling in. And you did it so spontaneous, not even realizing we were on
I
the
didn't
air.
realize I was on
Right. And you just
TV.
went with the flow. So you get to watch
I did
later.
good.
You
I did
did.
good
You
because I had
did.
some wine. All right, I'm gonna go
Oh.
back to my self-loving session.
Go back to that self-loving session, baby girl. Love you
Good
very
day.
much.
Love you too.
Bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was my number 5 child. I mean, my number 3 child out of 5. She's the mother of an 11-year-old, a very beautiful 11-year-old. I don't know. You guys may not have gotten the opportunity to see the in studio live TV interview I did with her daughter, along with my oldest granddaughter, and that was great. My children always let me know how I'm doing in life, whether it's an argument, whether they're angry at me, whether they're sharing love with me, which is often, they always let me know how I'm doing. And I don't want to get teary-eyed, because when we're talking about love, and if that's not love, I don't know what love is. When your child basically thanks you or gives you credit for teaching her to love herself. I mean, all the mistakes I made as a parent, and I've made some, it just those mistakes don't matter, because when you see the good come out of what you've sown, that's what love is. When you can show, and I couldn't show my children love, or I couldn't teach them how to self-love if I didn't first know what that was for myself. So saying that, I have to pay homage to my mother, my grandmother, my aunts. Just being thankfully blessed for the women. I'm not taking anything away from the men, but when you have strong women in your life to help you grow, to teach you to grow, to get on you when you're doing things wrong, to let you know, be honest with you, truthful with you, and in your face about it, you can't help but turn out to be a decent person. So, getting back to what is love, when it comes to love, people would say, and I would say, and we all would say, that it's one of the most important emotions, one of the most important human emotions, and it's one of the most studied, and it's one of the most studied behaviors in a person, but it's the least understood. We don't understand it. There's debates about whether love is a biological thing, like the love I just expressed for my children and for my mothers before me, or is it a cultural thing, like love for our people? So there's all kinds of love. So now you see why I decided to break this into a 7-part series. And again, this is the introduction to the 7-part / question relationship life coaching series. And in today's question, what's love got to do with me? Love has everything to do with you. You have to understand it. And having said that, and having given you some examples of what love is, and making sure, my job, I wanted to make sure that you understood that love that we talk about is should first be directed to self-love. I can't explain that, like my daughter. There you go. Okay, my daughter explained that she thanked me for teaching her self-love. And as I went through a thing with her, if you are the parent of a teenager, and we all have parents, most of us have dealt with a teenager, whether it was career-wise, neighborhood, schools, we've dealt with teenagers, whether we have them or had them of our own. That time of life, as an adolescent, is the hardest. And for a girl, it could be pretty traumatic. So with that child being very sensitive, I had to explain a whole lot, had to have a lot of conversations. And she reminds me, sometimes I would get frustrated because I felt like, and she would say her self-esteem. And here I am, I've always been in the field working with self-esteem and image and taking care of yourself, and mainly with girls. And I've always been that. But here I have a child at home that didn't get it, or didn't feel like she was enough. She did not feel like she was enough. And it was heartbreaking for me. because this child was enough, and I needed her to know that she was enough. So a lot of times we don't know that we're enough, and and not knowing that you're enough, it does not exude that love that you should have for yourself, that love that you need to be able to give and to share with others. Now, I want to make sure we understand types of love. See, we've talked about love for self, but not all forms of love are the same. And again, we're going to really dive deep when we go into the series. So if you're out there and you would like to have a question answered, or if you'd like to ask a question, maybe it'll help me formulate questions for my 7-part series. I already have, but things can change, especially if it's something that someone seems to be important or I may have not looked at. So I want to go through the types of love. There are so many types, but I want to go through. Let me see how many types am I going to go through. I think I'm looking at maybe 5 types. So a lot of times I have so much information and so many resources that I have to cut them down. So we're gonna talk about 5 types of love today. And from those 5 types, when I bring forth the 7-part series, those 7 questions, I will go into those 7 parts deeply. And I will use some or all or in some form or fashion of the information that I'm getting ready to give you on the types of love. 5 types of love. The first type is friendship. Okay? I want to take that back. I'm going to do these as 5. I said 5, but let's make it 6 types of love, because the first type is self-love. I cannot go any further unless the first type of love is self-love. And I went into detail, how we love ourselves, how we use our self-talk towards ourselves, how we treat ourselves, how we allow others to treat us. So self-love. There's so much information on that. Self-love. You cannot have self-love if you don't have positive self-esteem. You cannot have self-love if you're not attracted to yourself. And when I say attracted to yourself, you need to love what you see when you look in the mirror. You need to really love what you see when you're looking in the mirror. If you can't look yourself in the eye, you need to rethink that. Self-love is loyalty to yourself. Self-love is trusting yourself to make the right decisions, to do the right things. We don't do it all the time, but we have to trust ourselves to do it. So I'm going to do 6 types of love today. Type 1 is self-love. That's the first thing. Self-love. Number 2, friendship. This is another type of love. This type of love involves liking someone and sharing a certain degree of intimacy. See, when someone's your friend, we all have friends. We all have friendships. And that for that to be a true friendship, it needs to have a certain amount of love. Now, I want to differentiate, I said that right, friendship from associates. See, you don't necessarily love an associate. You can, but if that moves into love, then that becomes a friendship. But a friend, you should have a certain amount of love with, a certain amount of intimacy. For me, I do. In order for me to call you my friend, there's got to be some love there. Okay? I'm not talking about a co-worker. I'm not talking about a neighbor. I'm not talking about associates. In order for me to call you my friend, there must be a certain amount of love there. And a lot has to take place before that happens. Only those close to me know. I don't open up to you easy, but when I do, it's because I believe that you're that friend that deserves that love. So number 2 is friendship. Number 3, now I'm talking about the types of love. Number 3 is infatuation. Wow. Even at this age, we can become infatuated. This is a form of love that often involves intense feelings of attraction without a sense of commitment. You follow what I'm saying? Like you're infatuated with him or her or an idea. I've been infatuated with many business ventures that I tried, and beep, it doesn't last that long. So didn't have that sense of commitment. I was infatuated with it for a minute. It often takes place early in a relationship, and it may deepen into a more lasting love. So be careful with infatuation. You got to give it time. You got to let it marinate. You got to let it become something more so that it can become a lasting love. I just gave myself something. I just gave don't I tell you guys every time I do these sessions or I come to you with information, I see myself, I feel myself, I know what I may need to do, something I may need to redo or conquer. So if the coach can coach herself, trust me, I'm the coach you need. You need me. You need a coach. You need me. So infatuation, that's the form of love that involves intense feelings. Those feelings. And a lot of people say young people are infatuated. Truth be told, there's no age to infatuation. Okay? There's no age. Even a woman of my age, almost 60, in January the 19th, can become infatuated. So we have to be careful. We got to understand what's real and what's not, what's fleeting and what's not, what will remain and what won't. Okay, so I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4 passionate love. This type of love is marked by intense feelings of longing and attraction. That's one step above infatuation. Okay. It often involves the idealization of another person and a need to maintain constant physical closeness. That was me, but I snapped out of it. Because it was keeping me from doing things that I needed to do. It was taken away from my focus, and that's what infatuation will do. And that's what passionate love will do. Not saying that I'm not going to be there or I'm not there. I'm not telling you everything, I don't think. But I'm just saying what passionate love will do if you allow it to take you over. Now, that passionate love I have for myself, you have to pull that back sometimes, because that's when it can become as though you're egomaniac or you're narcissistic, and things of that nature. I have been accused, or I have accused myself of having narcissistic tendencies, but I'm aware of them. So some of that is in my dark place, and I've shed a whole lot of light on it. So I live with it. I embrace who I am, and I know myself. So that comes from that self-love. When you love yourself, you dig deep. You want to go into what's wrong with you, why you do certain things, why you act a certain way, because you're constantly shedding light in those dark places. Okay, you shed light in those dark places. Okay, so number 5 is compassionate love. You know, that kind of love you have for your companion. This form of love is marked by trust, affection, intimacy, and commitment. That compassionate love, that's that love you have with your companion or your mate. That compassionate love. Now, that does not mean that you cannot be compassionate person for others, definitely. But we're talking about compassionate love. Now, if you're compassionate towards your fellow man, and we love who we are, we love our people, and we're compassionate about that. We have affection for them. We don't have that intimacy, though. We're not that intimate. We may have certain commitments to our community, to our people, but we're not intimate with it. So let's keep it straight. Let's keep it right. Number 6 type of love is unrequited love. This type of love is a form of love that happens when one person loves another, and that other person does not return those feelings. That's unrequited love. And we need to talk about that too, because see, when that happens to another person, when you love a person, and we're talking about in relationships, that could be romantic relationships, that could be with siblings, that could be with anyone that you're in a relationship with. There are a lot of siblings that have situations and hate, or whatever you want to call it, between them, where one might love the other and the other one might not love them. Or we have parents that don't love their children and the way the children love them, and that could be because parents have other issues and other problems. So when you're a person that loves someone and they're not loving you back, or they're not returning those feelings, that could put you in a dark place. So you need to understand that you loving someone and them not loving you back, that's not your problem. So don't make it your problem. Do you stop loving them? If it were just that easy, yes. But loving someone, turning it off is not that easy. Can you get there? Yes. If you need to get there to save yourself, oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you may need a coach to do that. But when you love someone and they don't return your feelings for whatever reason, you could be a person that has another person love you, and you simply don't love them in that way. And you try to let that person down easy. You try to be careful of their feelings. But if you don't love someone, you don't love them. And there's nothing you could do about that. So it works both ways. So if you're a person that loves someone that doesn't love you back, work on yourself, work on those feelings, work on giving yourself more of that love. Take it back. Take your love back. And if you're a person that is not returning the feelings of someone that you love, don't hurt them in the process. Don't break them in the process. There are things you can say to help them heal, to help them to not break. So again, it's all about learning how to love. So having said that, learning how to love. So I've talked to you a little bit about what love is. I've given you 6 types of love. All of this is leading into the 7-part / question relationship life coaching series that will be in our podcast for 7 different podcasts with questions in reference to relationships, not just romantic relationships, into all relationships. I'm going to try to touch on that. Now, in the beginning, I gave you the list of what my certifications were. So, and I also told you that my goal was to create a more cohesive, concise, consistent coaching climate. So in other words, I want to try to keep things a little bit more uniform than I have in the past, because I believe a lot more work can be done. And since I'm using my relationship coaching certifications to start the series, of course, I'm going to use in the future my happiness, my professional, my group, my goal success, my life purpose, my transformation. I'm going to use those life coaching skills, those life coaching experiences, those life coaching areas that I have expertise in and that I believe I can bring you a 7-part/question series to. So that's the uniformity I want to take. So I've got enough to keep me going, and I have to thank my executive producer. I am no longer the executive producer with Dialogue with Deirdra. I'm the producer/host of Dialogue with Deirdra, the creator of Dialogue with Deirdra. But my executive producer, without saying too much, has allowed me to see certain things. This person may be my coach and not even realize it, but again, it keeps me accountable, keeps me on track, will not allow, and believe it or not, this coach can become complacent, will not allow that. I also have been known to be, and I did a session on this, not complacent. Oh my God, the word escapes me. Oh, it's right there. I could taste it. Where you're sitting on something you need to do, but you don't get it done. It's procrastinator. Yes, there it is. My procrastination, and I do get it sometimes, and only because I may have a creative block. You know how writers get writer's blocks. My blocks cause me to make myself believe that you don't need to do that right now. You don't need to worry about that right now, which is a form of procrastination. Putting off for today. How you say it? I put off today. I put off tomorrow what I could do today. You know what I'm saying? In other words, procrastination is something that I've worked hard on. I've gotten very good at not being a procrastinator. So in the way that I'm going to start to do my shows and to work them, it's going to really help me help you. Again, Dialogue with Deirdra is grateful and thankful for being able to have this time to come here and do this. I really enjoy it. It really fulfills me. And when I leave here, every time I do a podcasting session, when I leave, I'm open again. Like my mind is racing again. It's like I'm thinking, I'm on to the next thing. I'm ready for the next question. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to ask this. But this way that I'm doing things now, the way that I woke up this morning was I needed to put things in order. I needed to do things clear. Again, even the coach has to coach themselves. I need to put things in such a way that I could just do it fluidly. I could do it fluidly. I didn't say flawlessly because I'm flawed, but I could do it fluidly. I could move with fluidity. I could flow. And the way that I'm going to do things now was to flow. So I hope you understand what today's podcast was about. I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey. If you don't, you can always call me at 714-926-0929. You can ask any question you need to ask. You can make any comment you need to comment. You can email me at DEIRDRAELKERSON at live.com. Again, my email address is DeirdreElkerson at live.com. My website is down right now. Again, through all this thinking and my fluidity, something came to mind. So my website is being revamped. I'm excited about that. Just because you start on something and you're working on something, that does not mean that you just can't stop, reboot, revamp, rethink, rejuvenate yourself. I mean, that's an awesome process. At first I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not in the studio. I'm not doing anything. I even have a studio at home. I'm just not. And all the time, only thing that was happening was I was getting myself ready to come back and get things done. Again, today's session or today's question is, what's love got to do with me? What's love got to do with me? And I explained what love was. I gave you the 6 types of love, just a little bit. And I will be bringing you the actual series beginning with the next podcast. I even thought about giving you the question for the next podcast, but I decided not to do that. I'm going to keep that a secret, and you'll see when we get there. So we do know what time it is.
If you have something to talk about, something inside you need to get out, she's the one to help you cope.
I'm here, y'all.
You, the line code.
Bye.
A life coach can help you transform your life. From helping to achieve personal and professional goals, face difficult situations, push past emotional barriers to improving productivity, living a fulfilling life, and much more. Help you explore what is blocking you. Help you identify what you want, your whys, and your hows. Help to keep you on track with your goals. Assisting you in turning your vision and dreams into reality. Help you find your path or purpose. Help you determine your perfect career. Promote you having a purpose and direction. Provide a fresh perspective and look at your life from a different angle. Help improve focus and promote motivation. Provide you with techniques and tools to achieve what you want out of life. Help you be more mindful about your beliefs and perspectives, which will assist you in adopting new understandings about how to reach your goal. Provide a sounding board and help you see issues in a new light. Push you to keep you motivated. Challenge you to reach new heights. Hold you accountable so you can push yourself forward. Ensure that you are making progress in your goals.